Hello FPL players, welcome back to another team selection video for Game Week 13. For today's video, I'm gonna go through my Game Week 12 review, followed by my team selection for Game Week 13. If you like my content, do consider giving me a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel if you're new around here. It will massively help out this channel to grow too. So my Game Week 12 results has ended and right now is at 48 points and my rank has fallen to around 65k. It's not a big drop, it was okay. And with the blank game weeks in Man City and Arsenal players, the debate has been who exactly should be captain in game week 12 other than Haaland. In the end, I went with Trossard and he almost paid off when his shots in the first half rattles off the crossbar. But in the end, the scoreline was at 0-0 and it is unexpected for Forest to keep a clean sheet too. But when I look at the whole situation, a lot of FPL players went with Salah and Kane as their second and third captain, I guess. And surprisingly, both players did not get any attacking returns too. So it's one of the game weeks where you shouldn't be too disappointed with your captaincy options if they did not perform. Unless of course if your captain is someone else other than these three players. I was a bit disappointed with the fact that Johnny did not start for the Wolves game against Crystal Palace. I feel he would absolutely have started over Nelson Semedo, but I'm positive that from the next game onwards, Semedo will not start after his poor performance in the second half. Elsewhere, you also see Nico Williams getting his clean sheet points, which is really unexpected given the fact that Brighton is a strong attacking team. Once again, you see Brighton dominate possession, dominate the passing, dominate the stats like shots. The only problem is that they just can't seem to score goals. And it's not just against Forest, because in the match against Brentford and Tottenham, they dominated too, but they still lost the game. And then we have our double Newcastle defense, Pope and Trippier. Both got a clean sheet points against Everton, but it was Trippier who got the maximum bonus point in the low scoring match. And after 5 game weeks without scoring, Zaha is back with a goal, and he did so against a Wolves team whom I thought have a good chance to get that clean sheet too. Elsewhere, it's also not a good result for Solanke as it blanks too in this game week. I can't say I'm too disappointed with these results. I never expect Nico Williams to get that clean sheet points, and I never expect Zaha to score against Wolves. In contrast, the ones I expect to deliver are Trossard and Solanke, but both did not contribute to any attacking returns at all. So it's a mixture of surprises and disappointment. But it's FPL, right? It is what it is. So we just have to accept the unpredictable nature of the game. When we look at Game Week 13, there are a few fixtures that looks amazing to me. Arsenal is playing against Southampton and Liverpool is playing against Forest. Now obviously Southampton did get that win against Bournemouth in the last game, but this one result will not change the team performance overnight. Occasionally teams like that will have a few good results over the course of the entire season, but against an informed Arsenal side, you gotta back Arsenal for this fixture. And for that Forest game, it's a good opportunity for Liverpool to get multiple goals there. It's highly unlikely that Forest will get another clean sheet points. The only problem in my team is that I do not have a single Liverpool players here. And also if you're looking at the next game week, next few game weeks for Man City, Arsenal and Liverpool, all that fixture looks amazing until game week 16. Two of the worst defense team, Forest and Southampton, are each going to play against Arsenal and Liverpool once. So Man City fixture looks amazing too, especially for games against Leicester and Fulham, where these two teams have been conceding quite a few goals already. Even Brighton doesn't look too bad here, given the fact they have been winless in the last 4 games now. So the general idea is to focus our transfer around Man City, Arsenal and Liverpool players for the next few game weeks until game week 16 when the World Cup starts. I may even consider taking a -4 to bring in players which I fancy from these 3 teams if it is justifiable to do so. And with that in mind, let's jump straight into our team selection for game week 13. So my goalkeeper for game week 13 will be Danny Ward. I know Leicester is not exactly the kind of team you expect to keep a clean sheet, but one thing I do know is Wolves are just terrible at scoring goals. So far in this season, Wolves has scored 5 goals, which is exactly the same amount of goals as Zaha from Crystal Palace alone. So one person in Crystal Palace, one player scored the same amount of goals as the entire team of Oof. And then you have Pope who plays Spurs next, which means the likelihood of Pope getting a clean sheet against Spurs is almost close to 0%. Up next in defense, we have Trippier. In terms of Trippier, Tottenham is not an easy opponent for Newcastle, but he's playing against his former club Spurs, so he may be motivated to generate some decent attacking returns here, or perhaps to just show them exactly what they're missing at Tottenham home ground. There's also not a lot of options on my bench. Nico Williams is playing against Liverpool, and Johnny is playing against Leicester. Both are playing against strong attacking teams, so the chances of getting clean sheet for them are pretty low. And when it comes to Trippier, there's always that extra element in terms of attacking returns from set pieces. So with a bit of luck, Trippier may actually get more points than majority of the defenders in this game week. Up next in defense, we have Cody. Everton is a team that focuses on defense first. They're playing against a decent Crystal Palace side, so anything can happen. But because Everton is playing at home, you can expect the crowd to rally behind the team for another good defensive display. Up next in defense, we have Cancelo. In the last Brighton match against Forest, we saw Brighton dominating the game without scoring. If Brighton cannot score against Forest at home, then what exactly are the odds of them scoring against a team like Man City away from home? And unlike Brighton, whose legs are slightly tired from the last game, Man City has blanked in game week 12, and you can expect them to be well rested for this game against Brighton. Up next in my midfield, we have Trossard. Trossard was brought in as a 1 week pawn, so I'll be looking to transfer out Trossard this game week. I think it's quite obvious as to who I'm going to transfer in this game week. It's either going to be Xhaka or Foden, but because I already have 3 Man City players, I'll be looking to get Xhaka in. Xhaka is a great option here. He's on penalties, he has scored 4 goals and assists 2 times in the past 5 game weeks. And Arsenal is playing against a weak Southampton side, so we expect Arsenal to continue their good form once again. Now there's one thing that you should be taking note. Xhaka has picked up a knock during the match against PSV, but Arteta has already come out and looked positive and tell the media that he's most likely going to be fine for the Southampton game. And because I'm already thinking of getting Xhaka long term, and the transfer was made way before the PSV game, so there's no reason for me to back out now anyway. But for those who have not made a transfer to Xhaka, if you want, you can always consider going for Foden instead. I think he's equally a great option if your team is not congested with 3 Man City players yet. The next player in my midfield is Kevin De Bruyne. Now in terms of De Bruyne, when we look at him, we see a player with excellent passing and vision on the pitch. He has been consistent and provided a total of 9 assists in this season so far. We see how well he connects with Haaland too, and this great partnership with Haaland has brought us a lot of attacking returns so far. Up next, we have Martinelli. And in terms of Martinelli, he has been instrumental to Arsenal's successful season so far. His movement on the pitch is a constant taunt to the defenders, especially for right-back defenders because he's playing on the left. And defensively, I would say Southampton has been pretty poor and has been conceding a ton of goals here. And for the last match against Bournemouth, it's their first clean sheet of the season. And that is against a team like Bournemouth, which means against a team like Arsenal, they're almost guaranteed to concede some goals here. And last in my midfield, we have Zaha. Now, in terms of Zaha, we saw how Crystal Palace showed their character in the second half against Wolves. So I'm hoping really that this is the kind of match that is going to bring them confidence and attitude, and they're gonna bring this confidence and attitude into the game, carry on into the game against Everton. And with a motivated Crystal Palace side, perhaps Zaha may be able to get some attacking returns from this match too. And moving up to my forward, we have Haaland. Now, in terms of Haaland, he's just a robot. He's a goal-scoring machine, whatever you want to call him. Every factors now point to him being a great captaincy pick for game week 13. And Man City is going to play this match at home in front of their home supporters. And after their loss against Liverpool, you can expect to see some driven Man City players looking to vent their frustration over a Brighton side. And the last match against Liverpool is the the first time this season that Haaland did not get any attacking returns. So you expect him to be very hungry for goals, very hungry for assists in this match against Brighton. So we are potentially looking at a very, very dangerous Haaland here. Up next, we have Mitrovic. Defensively, I would say Leeds has been pretty poor and been conceding a lot of big chances this season. In fact, they are winless in the last 6 games ever since they beat Chelsea in the Premier League. Against a team like Fulham who love to attack and against a player like Mitrovic who love to take shots, this match will almost be a recipe of disasters for the Leeds team. Last in my forward line, we have Solanke. Now in terms of Solanke for Bournemouth's side, the last game against Southampton seems like the end to a great unbeaten streak in the Premier League. Now it won't be easy for Solanke to get any attacking returns as they face a rejuvenated West Ham team who seems to have turned around their fortunes in the last few games. And I'm not going to start Andrews over Solanke too, because I think in comparison, I do believe that Solanke is better than Andreas due to better form. And in the bench, we have Pope, Andreas, Johnny, and Nico Williams. Now, Pope and Nico Williams are facing difficult opponents in Tottenham and Liverpool, so it would be wise to sit them out for game week 13. And in terms of Johnny, he's facing a strong attacking Leicester side. Now, don't get me wrong, Leicester is still poor and defensively, but they're still a strong attacking side. And with James Maddison back into the team, clean sheet points for Johnny and Uve looks very unlikely too. And lastly, it's a matter of preference as I prefer other players in comparison to Andreas. So in summary, I'm going to transfer out Trossard for Xhaka, and for the captain armband, there's no surprise here, guys. I'm gonna put it on Haaland this game week, as I expect him to do well after being rested for the last game week. And for vice captain, I'm putting it on Xhaka because he's on form, he's on penalty, and he's playing against an off-form Southampton side. So this is my team selection for game week 13. Feel free to interact with me down in the comment section below. Let me know down in the comments, who are you transferring in? Are you bringing in Foden? Are you bringing in Xhaka for this game week? And lastly, I wish you all the best for game week 13, and I will see you all in the next video.